Crafty Kendra, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of Poppy Parade, and this is the textured cardstock, which means it's got texture on one side and it is smooth on the other. We're going to take the textured side up, and it measures 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And what we're going to do is bring in our matte pack, hard surface on the bottom, then our foam, then our paper. And today we're going to use the piercing window that comes with it. We're just going to line up the black lines on here with the edges of our cardstock. And we're going to punch some holes. Alright, and now that we've finished that, we're just going to move that sheet out of the way. Now we have some pretty pierced holes on our paper. I'm going to take our corner rounder. We're just going to round this top corner on the left. I'm going to bring in my greeting, which I printed off the computer in blue ink on Whisper White cardstock, and it says, "When life makes you feel like a pincushion." And we're just going to corner around its top left corner as well. Going to put some snail on the back of our greeting. We're going to go ahead and take our early espresso ink and our sponge stopper, and we're going to go around and just sponge the edges. Then we're going to place it down on this Poppy Parade piece, flush with the right side. And there we go. And we're going to set this piece aside. Next thing we're going to do is bring in a scrap piece of Whisper White and our basic black ink pad. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the Pincushion stamp from the So Sweet stamp set, ink it up in our basic black, and stamp it onto our Whisper White. Okay. I'm going to set that aside to dry. And now I'm going to bring in a piece of Bashful Blue, and it measures 3.5 inches by 2.5. And we're going to take our Early Espresso ink pad and our dot 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 background. I'm going to ink it up. Okay. And then we're going to stamp it onto our Bashful Blue. And it's not going to go across the whole cardstock. We're going to have to stamp it again. So you're going to re-ink your stamp. You're going to line it up where you want it. Stamp down. And there you go. Once again, we're going to take our sponge stopper with our Early Espresso ink pad, and we're going to go around the sides. I'm going to take that and set it aside. I'm going to bring back in that Pincushion that we stamped, and it's had time to dry. I'm going to bring in some of our Stampin' Up markers. what we're going to do is we're going to take our Poppy Parade marker with the brush tip. We're going to go ahead and color in the pincushions. Okay, after you color in the pincushions, you're going to take your So Saffron marker. You want the fine point tip. You're going to color in the heads of your pins that are in your pincushion. Then with our Sahara Sand brush point, we're just going to give our pincushion a little bit of a shadow. Okay. Then we're going to grab the 1 1/4 inch punch. I'm going to slide it in, center it, and punch out our image. Then without re-inking our sponge dauber, we're just going to go around and sponge the edges. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and put some snail on the back. We're also going to put some snail on the back of a 1 3/8 inch circle of Bashful Blue. We're going to center our pincushion onto the blue. Then we're going to put the blue onto a 1 3/4 inch circle of Early Espresso. I'm going to flip it over and we're going to put 2 Stampin' Up! Dimensionals on the back. I'm going to remove the backing. And we're going to set it aside. We're going to go ahead and bring in that piece that we stamped with the dots background. And we're going to bring in a piece of ribbon, and this is the Poppy Parade Poly Stitch ribbon. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie a knot. I'm going to wrap it around our cardstock and tie a knot towards the left side. This ribbon is about 12 inches long. Then I'm going to bring in a mini glue dot. Just going to place it underneath the bases right by where my knot is to keep those in place. More down at the end, just for good measure. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my ribbon scissors. Just going to clean up these tails. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over this cardstock. Just going to put a mini glue dot in each corner. And the reason I'm using mini glue dots is because my ribbon is makes part of my cardstock a little bit thicker, but I don't want it popped off the page. So I'm going to use the mini glue dots because they're thicker than your snail, and they'll really adhere to the cardstock. I'm going to bring in my card base, and my card base measures 4 1/4 inch by 5 inches, so it's just a tad smaller than a standard size card. I'm going to put it onto our card base, giving us about 3/8 of an inch gap from the top and a little gap from the right side where it opens. And as you can see, our other greeting will slide right in here. We're going to go ahead and take our snail runner and run some snail across here. Going to adhere that, and it's going to be adhered flush to the right side. Okay. And you remember that pincushion we put the dimensionals on? You're just going to take it and place it to the right of your bow, or your knot, sorry, and press it down. And then on the inside of our card, I'm going to place a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and it measures 4 1/2 by 3 3/4, and I've also printed it off on my computer, and it says, "I'll be there for you." Just going to flip it over and add some snail. And again, taking my sponge stopper with Early Espresso ink, I'm going to go around and just sponge the edges. Okay. Then I'm going to center it on the inside of my card. And there you go. My greeting reads, "When life makes you feel like a pincushion, I'll be there for you." And that's all I got for you guys today.